Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Warzone's most egregious exploit is back. Riot and Bungie are going after cheaters together, Polish regulators could fine CD Projekt Red, and much more. As if things weren't already bad enough for Call of Duty Warzone, the dreaded Infinite Stim exploit is back following the game's most recent update. This exploit allows players to use a single stim repeatedly, which instantly restores some of their health. Doing this in the gas lets you stay alive for an entire match. It's basically a guaranteed win. And while stims are generally the item people use with this exploit, it works with any tactical item. Players could also use it to have infinite flash or stun grenades if they wanted to. This is at least the third time the Infinite Stim glitch has appeared in Warzone. At this point, it really makes you wonder why the developers haven't removed the stim item from Warzone. Unless they implemented a permanent fix, this glitch will keep getting exploited, and it's quite literally a game-breaking problem. And while I like to say all of Warzone's recent problems stem from the developers being on vacation following a massive transfer of responsibility from Infinity Ward to Raven Software, even that is questionable. There seems to be very little communication about Warzone's development, so we don't know who's in charge and what they're doing or where to leave our feedback. Raven said to send them feedback about the DMR nerf on Twitter, but for all we know, they're just handling adding Cold War's weapons to Warzone, and Infinity Ward are still in charge of everything else. The only thing that seems to be clear is that these issues absolutely need to be resolved. Warzone is actually an incredible battle royale game, but the bugs, exploits, and balance issues routinely sour the experience. And it certainly doesn't help that the Infinite Stim glitch is a repeat offender and the game's weapon balance has been in shambles for weeks now. The mid-season update for Cold War and Warzone is going live on Thursday. Hopefully the devs can iron out the balance issues and finally squash the Stim exploit for good. Riot and Bungie filed a joint complaint in California recently, alleging Gator cheats and other cheat developers are trafficking a portfolio of malicious cheats and hacks. They say while the cheat developers are likely pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's costing them millions in anti-cheat development and lost customers. The complaint formally requests the court shut down the cheat makers' operations, which extends beyond dedicated websites and includes Discord servers, Telegram, and email services. Bungie previously issued Gator Cheats a cease and desist. Gator Cheats said that they have complied with the order, but Bungie's lawyers argue the cheatmaker is still selling cheat software for Bungie games on a private portion of their website. While many developers have opted to fight cheaters through anti-cheat software, Bungie, Riot, Activision, Epic, Nintendo, and other big-name publishers have all used the legal system. Many of their suits have had significant impacts on the issue, but for every cheat site that goes down, it seems like a dozen still remain active. Perhaps the ultimate resolution is to make cheating illegal. South Korea has treated cheating in games as a criminal offense in some cases. A Polish regulator has opened up an investigation into CD Projekt Red over the Cyberpunk 2077 rough launch. While the regulators aren't taking immediate action against the developers, they'll monitor their progress with the game's future updates. If they find the devs haven't kept their promises regarding improving the game, specifically on last-gen consoles, the regulators could fine the studio as much as 10% of its annual revenue. If you were worried CD Projekt Red wouldn't hold up their end of the bargain, well, they're facing severe consequences if they don't. Disney has revived the Lucasfilm Games brand. They axed the brand and the studios operating beneath it when they purchased the franchise rights from George Lucas in 2012. That led to several highly anticipated titles getting the axe. But Disney announced today that all the future games set in the Star Wars universe will fall under the Lucasfilm's game brand. While many people on social media were quick to assume that means Disney is taking game development in-house, that doesn't seem to be the case. Disney's agreement with EA to develop Star Wars games still seems like it's in effect, and many of their subsidiaries like DICE, Respawn, Motive, and others are reportedly working on future Star Wars games. What seems most likely is that Disney is simply using the branding as a way of advertising the games under a unified banner. With the Star Wars brand being as big as it is, Disney have been keen to tightly control its public image. System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition is currently in development, and the studio is adding VR support. They released a video on Twitter showcasing VR controls in action. The System Shock franchise is making something of a comeback thanks to a remake of the original game being kickstarted and officially entering production. Since then, System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition and a proper System Shock 3 have been announced. Unfortunately, feature creep, engine changes, and having to secure a publisher have slowed down the System Shock revival we've been anticipating for the past few years. The remaster of the original game was announced back in 2015 and kickstarted in 2016. It was expected to launch last year, but it missed that timeline thanks to aforementioned issues and, of course, the pandemic. Custom black PlayStation 5s were being offered by a third-party company recently, and they were flooded with orders upon launch. Unfortunately, though, they were unable to meet demand from customers, unhappy customers who have also threatened them. Super 5 launched their black PlayStation 5 units on Friday and sold out within minutes. Customers reported issues with their website, most of which were caused by the insane demand. While the company initially announced they would be working to improve the ordering process and get more units in stock, they have since canceled all existing orders, citing credible threats from customers. Super 5 deactivated their Twitter account, and it's unclear if they'll be offering custom products in the future. What's really crazy is that the shutdown had nothing to do with Sony. This one seems to be entirely because disgruntled customers issued threats of violence because they couldn't buy a custom PS5. In more positive news, Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 closed their fundraising event this weekend with a total of $2.75 million raised. The money goes directly to the Prevent Cancer Foundation and is the second highest amount ever raised by an AGDQ event. And despite not setting a new total record, AGDQ 2021 set a new record for raising $1 million faster than any previous event. The upcoming co-op brawler Gotham Knights is making some interesting changes to support its co-op gameplay. The developers have reworked the entire game's combat system and progression so that everything works in tandem with other players. They've gone as far as to make it so that if you play as one hero, all the other heroes level up in the background. That way, if you want to switch from, say, Robin to Batgirl, you don't have to level up Batgirl when you switch. She'll already be at a comparable level and ready to play. Before we get into our final story today, I hope everyone had a nice weekend. We'll have much more news coverage as usual this week, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to catch it all. Also, follow us on social media for the latest breaking news. Everything is linked in the description and a pinned comment below. In our final story today, Rust's console port might finally be on its way. The ESRB has given the game an M rating on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series consoles. Rust's console port was announced in 2019, but the developers have pretty much been silent regarding the progress. The rating suggests we won't have to wait long for an official announcement, but I wouldn't expect it to launch tomorrow or anything like that. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.